And the Supreme Court appears likely to expand presidential power by allowing President Trump to remove a federal trade commissioner for purely policy reasons. Justices heard arguments yesterday about President Trump's attempt to fire FTC member Rebecca Slaughter. The court's 6 conservative justices seem to indicate a president should have absolute control over the leadership of government agencies. But the liberal justices warn that would destroy the government structure and give the president massive unchecked power. ABC News legal contributor James Sample is here for more on that. Hi, James. So this ruling could effectively end the independence of some 24 agencies designed to be insulated from politics. So what does the court need to weigh here with both of these arguments?
Diane, it's a really important question. And this case is a fascinating juxtaposition because it is not high profile in the typical sense, but it is going to be high impact. And the reason it's going to be high impact is for exactly the reason that you just stated. This is not just about the Federal Trade Commission. It's not just about Rebecca Slaughter, the commissioner. It is about 24 agencies that Congress over the last 90 years has set up. Really, it's about the advent of the New Deal and what we've come to know in terms of federal agencies that govern and that regulate matters ranging across the spectrum of the federal government's mandate and the independence that the court will be weighing. On one hand, it's pretty clear that from oral argument, and it's pretty clear from prior cases in just the last couple of years, that there is a 6-member majority that is going to strike down the precedent at issue here. They're going to uphold the president's ability to fire commissioners of independent agencies at will. What that will be weighed against, and what the dissenters will be sure to emphasize, is that Congress, when it set up these agencies, wanted to give presidents some control, but not complete control, and so that the agencies would maintain some independence and expertise.
The Supreme Court ruled in 1935 that the president could only fire FTC members for cause. How critical is that precedent here?
Well, that precedent is the one that is going to be overturned. You know, in 1934, that's what the court ruled. And it's fascinating to think that the president who was challenging those provisions was FDR. Now you've got Donald Trump. You couldn't come up with 2 presidents more diametrically opposed in their ideology than those 2. But what all presidents want is more power. So that precedent is going to be the one that falls, and it is going to mark a massive change because that has been the governing law for our entire lives for 90 years.
So how would allowing Trump to fire this FTC commissioner give him power over that agency and potentially others?
What it means is that loyalty to whoever the president is, and in short term, that's Donald Trump, but long term, political parties change, presidents change. And what this means is that if independent agencies are no longer independent of the president, any commissioner who can be fired at will for not doing the president's bidding, what you're going to see is wild swings from one administration to the next on matters that are, in some ways, pretty fundamental. Science, medicine, technology are going to change dramatically based on what the president wishes.
All right, ABC News legal contributor James Sample, thank you.